The following is a transcript of a conversation between Matías De Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am. 28th October 2020, Health and Illness. Me. If I am what I eat, what I consume, then everything I absorb from the outside world in terms of information, emotion, and inputs will determine my energy state, since what I consume is energy that becomes part of my energy reserve. So if what comes to me has a low vibration, no matter how much I do many positive things like yoga, meditation, or be a good person, my body will be nourished with low vibration constantly. I am. It's like putting the cheapest and most homemade gasoline you find in a car that you use for volunteering and community service. No matter how good you are at what you do with the car, if the fuel is bad, it will not reach any destination. Me. Sure. Therefore, the importance of eating well. I am. And as we said, eating well is not eating what others eat because it does them good, but eating what does your body good. Just as there are different types of fuel for different types of cars, there are different foods for different bodies. Becoming aware of what you eat and why will perfect your machinery, but not only in terms of physical food, because remember that food is only a physical expression of energy. Then you have the fluid form of energy, which is emotion and bonds that also nurture you. Sometimes a hug with love feeds a body much more than a huge banquet. A good idea and conversation fills a stomach with strength more than eating breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner. Me. Everything is energy in different states. What happens when all of the energy that is received is negative? I am. The same thing happens when all the energy you receive is positive. Me. What would it be? I am. You get sick. Me. How is it possible that I get sick with positive energy? I am. You have a very strange and dual concept of what positive energy is. Culturally, you have given this statement a connotation of goodness, well-being, success, by the fact that positive means that is placed before me, from the Latin positus, ponere, therefore that which is explicitly perceived, contemplated, and I can touch and see. Instead, negative comes from negare, which means that is not, therefore that which I cannot see or touch. In the curves of a wave, the upper cusp is called positive and the lower curvature is negative, in a concept that what is above is what is seen and what is below is what is hidden and not seen. Is this understood? Me, sure, I understand. I am. Thus, energy manifests itself in these two ways. Now, let's try to understand it in a more physical and chemical way. In an atom, protons are positively charged particles and electrons are negatively charged particles. But what if many protons are left loose in the environment in a compound having lost their electrons? Me. That there will be a lot of positive charge in a compound. I am. And that means, me, that the pH will be very acidic and harmful to health. I am. And have you heard how positive it is to have a lot of negative ions in the environment? Me. Yes, many times. Why? I am. Because the negative components clean the air, improve the circulation of breathing, digestive functioning, among other things. That is, here, the negative is positive and the positive is negative. Me. It's all very relative. I am. Exactly. Because you have given a dual and moral connotation to something that does not have it. An overload of positive energy in your body turns your body into an energetically acidic environment in which everything you have begins to break down. If you only receive negative energy, what will happen is that you will never be able to capture anything, and you will always be trying to complete what you lack. The balance of both is fundamental. Its imbalance is disease. Me. What is disease? I am. In Latin, infermare means to stand firm, which conceptually we would translate as to stop. In English, the word disease also comes from Latin dis, unlike, and iacere, staying in one place. The concept is that stay is synonymous with tranquility, comfort. Therefore, when referring to the opposite of comfort, it is understood dissatisfaction, restlessness, that is, leaving the comfort zone. In both languages, there is something that stops, that quiets, that does not move anymore, or that goes into crisis when moving and breaking its rigidity. Getting sick implies that everything is so full of energy that there is nothing new circulating. Then the energy stagnates, stops, stiffens. Me. So we must not understand illness as a synonym for weakness. but for rigidity, in which energy concepts, whether mental, emotional, or physical, begin to stop. I am. Getting sick is something that tries to let us know that there is something that is not moving properly inside. On one hand, when getting sick, the body must understand two things. One, that there is something that was not moving, although it does not logically understand what, perhaps something old, ancestral, that I must try to understand to release to give it movement again. Because remember that cells do not understand the division of the 3 times. For bodies, past, present, and future are all here and now, and what your ancestors lived is still alive in the memory of your cells. And 2, that during that period the body must rest and stop, stay still, and enter into a process of hibernation, meditation, and serious attention to the reactions of the body. Humans, when they get sick, try to heal themselves to get on with their lives, and all they do with this is deny that the body is warning us of a problem, that by healing us without consciousness we are only kicking it forward or to the next generations in the same way that it has come to you today. Me, yes, we've all done this, wanting to heal us. I remember when my grandmother told me she had cancer, I said, there are 2 paths you can choose, cure yourself or heal yourself. The first one may be short, but it will only bring you more problems in the other parts of the body that you will have to continue dealing with. The second is a long road, but it will lead you to freedom beyond life, for all eternity. I am. Cure comes from the word cure in Latin, which means to care. This word removes the responsibility of the patient in favor of holding the other responsible for their care. The word heal in Spanish comes from sensatus. That is to say that it is based on its senses and it's coherent in its actions, which gives rise to the word sanity in English, to be sane. Both make up the concept of health, which originates from the word salus, which means salvation. Greeting in Spanish has the same origin because it meant that you wished salvation to the other so that he could reach the kingdom of heaven in the final judgment. In English, health, like the verb to heal, comes from the Indo-European kaelo, which means totality, complete, good omen. That is, it implies recognizing that all parts are in harmony, nothing is left over or missing. Me, it's in balance, safe. I am. So disease and health are not opposites and must find a balance. The disease is the mechanism of stopping to think about what you were not paying attention to and did not take care of or resolve, and now it is time to do it, yes or yes. While the health process is to find balance between all parties, harmony, put things in their place, being coherent, sensible. Me. In a way, excess positive or negative energy leads us to getting sick, and many times this is inherited. That is, we can get sick in the name of our ancestors because cells are part of the entire family tree and do not interpret individuals but a lineage. In turn, we can get sick because of our own inability to manage the excesses or scarcity of our own energy, in food or in the links and information we receive every day. But what happens when diseases are alien to me, as in this pandemic, for example? I am. Nothing is alien. Humanity is an organ within a larger organism called Earth. The Earth is sick. That is, it has many conflicts to resolve that are in its cells, in humans. Imagine the Earth as a lady who gets sick and doesn't know why. But the reason is in their cells that contain the information of the past, humans. Many of its cells, even though we are in the 21st century, continue to live on the basis of hominid survival as they did 300,000 years ago, the same pattern. Therefore, these cells do not understand progress, present or future. Everything happens here and now. Because of this, the Earth got sick. Fever rose, global warming. Viruses spread, including COVID-19. Many cancer cells devour other organs to live on their energy. Devastation of ecosystems. And therefore, the Earth needed to stop, to quarantine all its cells, sick. This 2020, you are seeing what happens when a planet gets sick. They are all one organism. It has nothing to do with whether someone is good or bad, whether you do things right or wrong. It does not pass through there. It goes through the strength and adaptability of your cell to multiply and transcend the virus. Virile, strong, virulent, violent, it is an aggressive stage of the being in which it tries to defend itself and survive. This time of detention is a time when the Earth has become sick, stopping every human now. The only way to heal and find health is by placing things in their proper place, in being coherent and responsible, acting with sanity, and finding harmony in the acts of civilization. In the same way in individuals, being in high vibration does not distance you from being part of the whole, of the organism, but gives you the responsibility to strengthen yourself and demonstrate what you can do to transcend it. We are one. Me. I understand. Understanding ourselves as one makes us come out of the separation that makes us seek the cure, that makes us believe that if I vibrate high, this will not happen to me. It will only happen to others. The key is to be all part of the organism and take responsibility for healing it in finding balance among all as our body does. I am. Every disease, whether ancestral, personal, or external, comes to you as a reaction to your actions and resonance. We are never innocent of the things that happen to us. We are always responsible in one way or another. The question is the same one you asked your grandmother. Which path will you take, that of curing or that of healing? I. To heal myself, then, I must look at life as my cells do, contemplate past, present, and future. And by projecting myself into the future, I am manifesting the will to move, to get out of the state of dis-ease, still knowing that it is the same that explains to me how and why. I am. Coherence is the only key to healing. Never look at illness as defeat, but as an opportunity to open your eyes to what you were ignoring out of ignorance. Illness is the second chance to stop, inspire, and take a new step, this time with greater understanding and wisdom, greater freedom. Salvation can only come when you see illness as part of healing and not as defeat. Me. My path, then, is a constant path of healing with intermittent moments of illness, like a path to the top of a mountain that requires me to stop every so often to take a breath and contemplate. I am. Remember Mount Kailash? Me. Are you willing to die? That was Merlin's phrase before reaching 7,000 meters high. I am. You were afraid you would die. How many times did you stop? Me. Many, but I got over it. I never stopped despite the cold, fever, and headache. Death was part of my birth that day. When I stopped to stare at him, I knew that my whole life had stopped for an instant. I felt dying, and then I realized that death was my own way. I am. Do you agree to be faithful and respected in abundance and scarcity, in healing and sickness, loving and caring for you, even beyond death sets you free? Me. Yes, I accept. I am. Then I declare to you, I and am. Mahasaya.